Hey y'all, and welcome back. I'm Wood Boyles, and this is the World History Project. Today we're asking, why did states develop? Well, first we have to figure out what a state is. Basically, it's just a political unit with all the institutions like governments that go along with it. For example, the ancient Greeks lived in city-states, like Athens and Sparta. They had their own governments, laws, and cultural expectations. Today, we live in nation-states, also called countries, but more on that in later eras. But there haven't always been states. Villages, pastoral communities, and foragers didn't live in them. And some people today are stateless, living in small-scale communities that lack formal political units, governments, or laws. So, who does live in states? Okay, so historians argue that in order to have a state, a society has to have certain characteristics. The big one is governments. It must have an institution that makes laws, judges crimes, and decides on policy, and all that other exciting government-y stuff. And it usually can't just be a single person ruling on a whim. Even kings, queens, and dictators have organizations to assist them in making laws and implementing their decisions. So our word of the day isn't states, it's government, or the ruling body of a nation, city, or community. And governments definitely operate differently. China's government works different than the United States government. And both of these are different than Iran's government. But all of these are states because they do have governments. But none of that really answers our question. Why did states develop? So there are two theories or potential answers to where states came from. The first is the happier one, so let's start with that. It says that people decided to make states because they thought that cooperating, which means working together, would help them in big projects like agriculture, roads, and just generally making life better. This answer is called the volunteer theory. The other one is the not so nice answer, the coercive theory. Coercive means forced, and it says that a few people wanted all the power. So they found ways to force people to work for them and obey them. Think about slavery here and you begin to get the idea. Both theories are kind of right, depending on which society you're looking at. Now, almost everyone today lives in states, but they didn't really develop until Era 3, meaning that for most of our history, we were not organized into states. Today, I want you to read What is a State? And look for the elements that scholars say are necessary for the formation of a state. Also, think about which theory you believe is right, volunteer or coercive. Which theory better explains how your country or state came into existence? Just some things to think about as you read. In today's entry in your historian's journal, I want you to answer this. What should a state's role be in preventing pandemics like COVID-19? Think about groups like the World Health Organization and how they help governments make decisions around the world. My government has made the decision to place us under a shelter in place, which means limiting certain freedoms like going out for dinner or shopping, and we're being limited in order to slow the spread of the virus. As you craft your response, think about some of the positive and negative effects of your government's actions in response to COVID-19. See you next time.